Well, for gun owners in Senate District number 26, there's an awful lot on the line in the upcoming August primary. This area incorporates Fremont County. It's this great big district, kind of a very unique shape up here that kind of cuts through the center and then up to the top corner there of Wyoming. The seat is currently held by Senator Eli Bebout, an on-again, off-again friend of gun rights activists and to gun owners like you guys. Eli Bebout is retiring, not seeking re-election this time. And so we have an open seat here for the first time in a very long time. And we have two candidates who are vying for this position. One name you're going to know very, very well if you've been involved in the fight for gun rights at all here in Wyoming, and one name you might not know near so much. So we're going to break this down for you guys. On the one hand, you have Michael Bailey, a councilman from a city in the district. Michael Bailey, an unknown to state politics, who is seeking this election. Now, we have sent our candidate survey to Michael Bailey, and he is refusing to tell us anything about where he stands on gun rights. He will not tell us where he stands on red flag gun seizures. He won't tell us where he stands on gun registration via universal background checks. He won't even tell us if he's going to support any effort to ban the AR-15 or mandate waiting periods or have more gun-free zones. Michael Bailey just won't say. He won't say if he supports raising the age limit on when you can buy a gun. He won't say anything. Now, my 12 years experience fighting for gun rights in states, multiple states across the country, it's almost a no-brainer. Every time a candidate refuses to tell us where he or she stands, especially during a primary when they want the vote of gun owners very, very badly, every time they won't tell us where they stand, it seems to be because they intend to attack our freedom. They intend to attack our gun rights. I have never, ever had that rule disproven. Maybe Michael Bailey is the exception to the rule. Maybe he's going to be pro-gun. But based on his refusal to answer these very simple questions, it's a very dangerous situation for gun owners. Now, the good news is that we have a well-known champion for gun rights in this seat, running for this seat. You guys all know the name Tim Salazar. Tim Salazar has become one of the biggest leaders in the fight for gun rights in Wyoming in the last 4 years because Tim Salazar is the #1 bill sponsor for gun bills in the Wyoming House. Now, a lot of guys will sponsor token gun bills just to brush up on their credentials for election time. That's not Tim Salazar. Tim Salazar, he gets it done. Everybody knows, or you should know, that it was Tim Salazar who was the lead House sponsor on Stand Your Ground law in 2018. Tim Salazar and I and Anthony Bouchard, Senator Bouchard, we drafted this bill, and Representative Salazar helped us get 36 co-sponsors on the bill. Representative Salazar helped usher the bill through the committee process. He shot down attacks from the left and the moderate right who wanted to weaken Stand Your Ground law. And on that short session in 2018, Tim Salazar delivered the biggest advancement in self-defense law perhaps ever in Wyoming, certainly in modern times. Because of Tim Salazar, we can defend ourselves in public. There's no more need to retreat. There's no worry about having an anti-gun prosecutor who wants to destroy your life because you didn't back up enough steps before taking defensive action. So with these Antifa thugs rioting across the country, even right here in Wyoming, shutting down businesses, trying to assault shopkeepers and attack folks in the street, we can defend ourselves against that here in Wyoming because Tim Salazar delivered. That was 2018, but Tim didn't stop at all. Tim also has been our lead sponsor on legislation to rid Wyoming of these deadly gun-free zones. You keep hearing about these in the media. Every time, the way it seems, a madman shoots up a business, a government facility, a school, whatever it is, a movie theater, they're always gun-free zones. In fact, some studies show that 95% or more of these mass shootings take place in gun-free zones. No surprise, right? They go where the targets cannot fight back. And that's why Tim Salazar has sponsored legislation for the last 2 years in a row to help rid Wyoming of these deadly gun-free zones in government facilities, on college campuses, and more. And so every single time gun owners need a champion in the House, Tim Salazar, he stands up. He's also then, of course, signed the WIGO candidate survey for 2020, 100% pro-gun. He opposes every part of the gun control agenda, obviously. He has agreed to sponsor, again, in the future, more pro-gun bills. And for a lot of first-time contenders, you have to kind of ask the question sometimes, is this guy for real, or is he just saying this to get my support in a primary? You know Tim Salazar is for real. He's delivered the goods for gun owners in a very major way. I remember asking him about on the survey, we have this question about raising the age on when someone could buy a long gun, a rifle in Wyoming. A lot of people are talking about raising the age limit from 18 to 21, both in the state, but also across the country. I remember asking Tim about that question on the phone. And if you don't know Tim, you might not know, he served for his entire career in the United States military, a very, very amazing career he had. And so when I asked him about this, he said, think about what that means to me, he said, as a veteran. An 18-year-old can be drafted, an 18-year-old can enlist, an 18-year-old can fight and die for his country, an 18-year-old can use fully automatic weapons, an 18-year-old can use grenades, an 18-year-old can do all these things for his country. But the idea that he would come back to his home, come back to Wyoming, and then the legislature would make him a criminal for trying to buy an AR-15 to defend his home with, it just makes his blood boil, he said. And so, again, on every part of the survey, he opposes all the gun control bills, supports all the pro-gun agendas, and Tim Salazar is a proven leader who delivered Stand Your Ground law in 2018. I was there for that fight. I helped draft the bill. I testified in committee, 3 or 4 times. Had a very disagreeable conversation with then Governor Matt Mead. Had a lot of shout-outs from the establishment moderate Republicans who were trying to muzzle the work that we were doing inside the Capitol. And I can tell you that a lot of times it's the behind-the-scenes stuff that really gets nasty, that really gets aggressive. And a lot of guys and gals who want to carry pro-gun bills, they wilt when it gets to that phase. And Tim Salazar fought hard for gun owners throughout both the public side of that fight and the private side of that fight. So if you're a voter, if you're a gun owner in this district, right up here, again, Fremont County, district number 26, the seat currently held by retiring Senator Eli Bebout, I want you to know there's 2 choices. You have a proven leader for the fight for gun rights, Tim Salazar, who is 100% on the survey with a history of fighting for gun owners. And you have a great big unknown from Michael Bailey, who simply won't tell us where he stands. And that's a very dangerous situation for gun owners. If you live in this area or have friends that do, be sure and share this video far and wide so everybody knows about these 2 candidates. If you're not yet a member, guys, of WIGO, we need you now. The fight is hot. Get involved today at joinwygo.com. Thank you.